Chicago, 800 TJ name hit different. He was the backdoor king, known for lining ops up and doing them dirty, no second chances. Played the streets like chess, every move cold and calculated. But in this city, even demons get backdoored, and the same streets he terrorized came back to collect. This is the story of 800 TJ. 800 TJ's final chapter started the day Lil Jeff got left leaking. Hit 19 times while trying to catch his ops slipping. Hours didn't even pass before the net lit up with RIPS, tributes, and crying emojis. But TJ didn't mourn. He saw all that and started clowning. He went straight to Instagram and dropped laughing emojis under the tributes as if it were a joke. Then he doubled back, took Lil Jeff's pic, threw it on his own story, mocking him, daring anybody to say something. But TJ wasn't done wilding. He linked up with Bando KD, his and Jeff's op, and went live, celebrating Jeff's like it was a win, no remorse. He slid to Lil Jeff's block, hopped on live again with his op, laughing, saying, "We outside," like it was sweet. He told the ops to pull up if they had a problem. He thought he was untouchable. But what TJ didn't realize, silence in the trenches doesn't mean peace. His enemies were quiet, but they weren't scared. They were watching and plotting. And what made it worse, TJ was getting marked from all sides. Word in the streets said he got tied up in a couple of deals gone left, and that turned love into hate from homies. That was the nail in the coffin. Then came July 11th, 2024. TJ went live again, talking reckless like he always did, dissing the same people who had nothing to say but had everything to prove. Minutes later, boom, TJ got hit. And while the live was still fresh, he disrespected the dead, mocked the living, and moved like nobody could touch him. But the streets don't play with pride. TJ called for and pulled up on time. But to really understand why TJ got turned into a pack, you have to rewind back to when his set, 800, turned the city upside down. They weren't just a gang, they were chaos in motion, feared by many, hated by everybody. And TJ, he inherited every bullet, every body, and every war that 800 sparked. This story of this eternal beef goes way back to 2013, when 800 had a deadly clash with the gangster disciples from 63rd and St. Lawrence. Right in the thick of it was Big Mike. He wasn't just a member of 800, he was the type of guy who didn't wait for trouble. He made it. The whole thing blew up when Big Mike allegedly lit up the home of FBG Duck himself. Instead of laying low, Big Mike went online, jumped on Twitter, started clowning FBG Duck, straight up taunting him, claiming Duck wasn't nothing. It didn't take long. After all the online flexing, gangster disciples caught him lacking, but they didn't. They left him with something worse. Big Mike got shot in both legs, left paralyzed. A man who once ran wild in the trenches couldn't even walk anymore. To this day, he's in a wheelchair. FBG Butter said Big Mike came back that night, acted reckless, and that's how he ended up in a wheelchair. Butter called it karma, said it was God's punishment for shooting up a house full of kids on Easter.
Okay, you made mention of him and him allegedly being put in a wheelchair in retaliation to a shooting he allegedly did where he was somebody's house.
When I say he got put in a wheelchair for shooting that folks,
I'm saying allegedly.
Now look, let me clear the way for you know when you do like it was Easter Day, it was kids and so we gonna speak facts, right? You shot at the house, we weren't there. Well, none of the guys that we was all on St. Lawrence. Motherfuckers knew we was on St. Lawrence. We just whooped your homie and them on St. Lawrence in front of the stove, right? So you did that fluky shit, but you shot at folks' mama crib on Easter while the kids in that bitch Easter hunting. That's clown shit. So Allah, God, or whatever this wheelchair believe in, you stupid bastard. Oh, Tuka, this a fact, gang. Oh, Tuka, great, he punished you. He didn't take your life, gang, but he took something else away from you to show you your evil that you caused, that you done, gang.
But 800 wasn't about to fold after taking that L. They got their revenge, and it was savage. September 9th, 2013, Washington Park. Around 6 a.m., a body was found face down in the grass. Alan Ross, known on the streets as Fish, from M Creek. At first, it looked like a to the back of the head. Autopsy said different. Fish was beaten to. Rumors spread online saying Fish had a mental disability. That made it hit different, more tragic, more brutal. Then came the story that it all started over $5. 800's Pyro and 3 others jumped Fish over pocket change and left him dead. 800 didn't hide it. They mocked the like a badge. Boss Smooth, one of 800's loudest voices, dropped a track called 61 Dead Ops, where he rapped, We Don't Do No Fighting end up like fish. In 2015, all the major sets, including 051, Jarrow City, 800, and more, pulled up to a gathering in East Alley on the 6100 block of Cottage Grove. This wasn't a party. It was a memorial for a fallen member named Crack. At first, peace held, a moment of silence for the dead. But in these trenches, peace doesn't last. Old beef flared up again. 800 and Taekwon World ran into each other. Their tension, brewing since 2012, exploded. Words turned to threats, then threats to fights, and then gunfire lit the alley. Booby, Jarrow City's first lady, got hit. She wasn't just any female, she was respected across sets, moved freely, showed love, and got it back. A stray bullet caught her and she was pregnant, carrying Lil Boo's child. When news hit, even 800 felt it, but the damage was done. Her cracked the bond between 800 and Jarrow City, turning one bullet into a full-blown war. Later, in a live 800 Fats named Booby like a trophy, counting her as one of 800's bodies. That same live, Fats claimed 5 bodies to his name.
Family members got shot in their stomach and had to abort their baby, all type of shit. Who else?
You ask me what you do to people, I'm asking you what I do to people.
Listen, we not even talking about that right now, but
okay then, don't ask me that.
No, I'm talking about you and me knowing you what I do to people on Kevin Gray. What I do to people. No, what you did once before on Pyro. How many funerals that it's been on Pyro? Stop that. You better slow down, baby boy.
Hey, Fazzo, you can't talk that talk with me, folks. You can't talk that talk with me, folks. We go toe to toe, folks.
You better slow your roll.
Remember how Pyro used to brag about how he did fish dirty? Like that body was a trophy? Yeah, karma spun the block on him hard. It all went down one night when Pyro linked up with some MOB homies. The next morning, he was dropped by Domo over a dice game. Domo caught the case fast. Cops scooped him. That hit got him over 50 years behind bars. No parole, no way out. When news of Pyro's spread, fans reacted. Some blamed Pyro for being mixed up with Mo, but Pyro was innocent that night. He never even touched the dice game. He was just sleeping. Others called it karma for what Pyro did to Fish from Matt Creek back in 2013. 800 wasn't going to let Pyro's slide easy, but they moved differently. They played it smart and waited. Then October 9th, 2018 hit. Dusky Thaman got dropped right on his own turf, the 5600 block of South Michigan Avenue. Headshot. Word hit the streets quick. Folks said 600 was sliding with poles just minutes before Dusky got touched. Some whispers said O-Block did it, but most eyes locked in on 600. Right after Dusky got, the disrespect came quick. His ops went live, straight violating. The very next day, MOB came back swinging. They caught every 600 members as they could as payback for the clowning online too. Through it all, 800 stayed in the cut, silent, but they made their move when it mattered. At Dusky's own funeral on October 22nd, 2018, that church was packed to the brim. STL MOB 051YM all showed up heavy to pay their respects. But when the service wrapped and folks started dipping out, that's when everything flipped. A car pulled up slow, doors flung open, and shooters stepped out strapped with big poles. Straight ARs. They started blasting, spraying rounds all over the place. The crowd at the funeral didn't just take it, they fired back, but damage was done. STL's own Wooski caught a bullet right in the head. Right after, the streets blew up with rumors flying everywhere. Some said O-Block or 600 was behind it, trying to get revenge for Waldo's. King Von even dropped hints in his tracks. In Grandson for President, he rapped, Wooski got now he taking medicine. And in Back Again, he dropped heavy bars. At your funeral, I might just slide. Rest in peace. Everybody that's outside, I bet Wooski feel this one. I bet Wooski's still twitching. But the story didn't stop there. Not everybody bought that it was just O-Block or 600 pulling the strings. Eyes started turning towards 800. They kept quiet at first, but their music started dropping clues. 800 Fats and Head Tap rapped, up the Glock, quick head tap, now he looking Wooski slow. Cops reported the shooters had short dreads, which didn't match Fats. Still, Reddit users and street chatter pointed the finger at 800 TJ as the one who pulled the trigger. The violence kept heating up heavy in the streets. On January 2nd, 2020, East 83rd Street was supposed to see a simple trade go down, just a swap between 800 gang and Town's Curry Yo, only 18 years deep in the game, thinking he was just trading heat. But that was his last mistake. 800 sent Lil Fats, 800 TJ, and Lil Twin to handle business. The plan was straight: meet, swap, dip. But the vibe flipped quick. 800 started feeling like Curio was trying to play them slick, outsmart the move. Instead of just finishing the trade, 800 tried to snatch Curio's piece and dip quick. But Curio wasn't about to let that slide. He fought back hard, got hit in the leg, but still bounced, clutching his heat tight, desperate not to lose it. 800 wasn't about to let him get away, though. From a tan truck, they popped off again, this time hitting him fatal, right in the neck and wrist. That's what witnesses said. Curio dropped out cold on the block, while 800 TJ and the crew grabbed his and bounced, leaving him to alone on the street. And it didn't stop there. Days later, Lil Twan and Lil Fats were flexing hard on social media, posting pics holding Curio's piece, showing the world 800 ran the backdoor game hard. Curio wasn't the only one caught slipping. 800 had a rep for setting up trades just to pull cold backdoors, with 800 terajoules running many of these moves behind the scenes. Next target, Bando Hothead from Face World 069, caught in the same trap, lured into a deal only to get backdoored. And after Bando, the gang went back to social media, showing off the guns they took. Fats, TJ, and Semi posed with the pieces, straight up disrespecting Bando and his crew. 800 TJ even went live, boasting about the 2 backdoor trades that ended in dissing both Curio and Bando hard. These weren't random street, they were planned hits, calculated strikes in Chicago's ruthless gang wars. Boss Gotti also got in on the flex, posting pics with Bando Hothead Switch, captioning it, "Everybody wants a Glock with a switch." This only heated up the beef between 800 and Face World 069. After 800, Fats and Boss Smooth started dropping diss tracks mocking the dead, the streets got tense. 069 wasn't playing. They spun through 800 blocks heavy, sliding and looking to catch something sweet. The pressure was up, and it didn't take long before it got deadly. October 11th, 2020, Boss Smooth got left. That night, Smooth posted a quick flex on his story with the geotag, "You Wild Hundreds." Moments later, he got lines. However, it didn't even happen in the Wild Hundreds. It went down way north in Chatham on South State Street. Smooth and his driver had pulled up to a Shell gas station, just cooling it. No tension, no signs, but was creeping. A car slid up on them quiet, then let loose with 30 rounds from a Draco, chopping through the whip. Boss Smooth got hit bad and right there on the scene. The internet lit up instantly. Rumors went wild. Some said it was fake news. A picture of a dude in the eye started flying around. People swore it was Smooth, but that was cap. That wasn't even him. Real story was, Smooth was in the passenger seat. His driver, still unknown. Cops pulled up seconds after the shooters dipped, but by then, the hitters had already slid off, hit the expressway, and vanished into the night. No arrests, no names, just smoke. Now back to Bloodhound Lil Jeff. The beef between 800 TJ and Lil Jeff wasn't just online chatter. It was real street tension, heavy and personal. They went back and forth live, throwing that only made things hotter and more dangerous. On June 8th, 2024, early Saturday morning, chaos hit the 6,600 block of South Rhodes Avenue. A broke out, and Bloodhound Lil Jeff was a video leaked showing the wild scene. It started when Jeff and Q50 spotted one of their ops hopping out of a car on South Rhodes. Lil Jeff opens fire on a guy wearing bright yellow shorts who ducks behind a car and then runs up a porch into a house. Jeff keeps chasing and shooting without stopping, but then the tables flipped. Gunfire came from another angle, and Jeff got hit hard. His shooters emptied a whole magazine into him. Just like that, a rising street name was gone. People started speculating. Given the history between 800 and Lil Jeff, many believe this was more than a random shootout. It was payback. No solid proof links 800 directly to the shooting. But in Chicago, ops are everywhere. When a rivalry runs this deep and a man who built his name dissing enemies gets taken out, folks start connecting the dots. But barely after Lil Jeff, 800 TJ met his fate. The 069 Face World gangs were tightly linked with MBLOCK, both dead set on taking out any 800 members, especially 800 TJ. 800 TJ, Low from Paxtown, Trigger from Rawtown, Reckless and Lil Snake from OTV went live flexing their ops, calling out Bando KD and M-Block Spaz to pull up and show where they at. Spaz responded, pulling up straight to Rawtown, recording himself roaming the block looking for ops, strapped with a chopper tucked in his pants. About an hour later, Spaz rolled into P-Town Hood with a man named Charles Brown. They were chilling in an alley on the 2200 block of East 70th Street when rang out. Charles got hit bad, bullet wounds in the arm and chest, while Spaz got in the chest and will pass away on getting to the hospital. After that, 800 TJ went live with Don Dada from OTV, talking about Spaz's.
Niggas don't want to do that. They don't want to do that.
Hey, boy, come back with my
Man, me in this phone, bro. I will break this.
They don't want to do that.
Shorty was walking like, damn, you could get hit with a chopper on you, folks. That's it. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Them bitches put up, folks.
Stop playing.
Them
Niggas
bitches
doing all
put
that
up,
cap.
folks.
They doing all that cap.
Them bitches put up, folks.
Yeah, stop playing my shorty. How you coming, Reese?
The beef between M Block and 800 blew up hard. 800 TJ and M Block members went back and forth live, throwing disrespect non-stop. M Block started hunting for 800 terajoules, escalating the madness. They frequently went live together, setting up shootouts on camera for everyone to witness. 800 TJ mostly went live with an M Block member named Die Y, who looked desperate to. After those live streams, it's unclear if a shootout actually happened between them, but if it did, no arrests were made. TJ was so bold, he even shared his location with his ops and blocked DY on social media, knowing DY was coming for him. TJ never realized just how serious his ops were about putting a bullet in his head. On July 10th, 2024, he posted on Instagram, bragging about snatching a gun from a member of MCB named Get Wild Kane. On July 11th, 2024, around 5:17 p.m., TJ was riding northbound on Interstate 94 between 83rd and 79th Street in Chatham. He then went live, dissing his ops and gave away his location. Moments later, someone pulled up and shot him multiple times. He was rushed to the hospital but was later pronounced dead. After TJ's death was announced, his ops celebrated online, especially Get Wild Kane. Kane went live on Instagram, openly celebrating and claiming responsibility for the hit. Later, Kane dropped a music video called Mr. 24 Inches on YouTube, where he dissed 800 terajoules. Many saw Kane's moves as clout chasing and promo for his music, but not the feds. They had just enough evidence to pick him up, and he was sentenced. If you like this video, click one of the windows on either side to watch a video similar to this one.